The leader is Jens Müller of East Germany. No surprise, he was the favorite. Our top American, Frank Maisley, is in 11th. Tomorrow, there will be 2 more runs, and that's it. A total of just 4 runs. The man with the lowest elapsed time becomes the winner. Simple, really, but it is the only thing about this sport of luge which is simple. It is a perfectionist's game. Attention to detail, the skin-tight suit for aerodynamics, the runners filed and polished in shape, the course memorized yard by yard. You dream of the perfect run, holding the image of the turns like a poem in your mind. You need brute strength at the start, catapulting yourself from the starting handles. Then right away, the emphasis shifts, and what counts now is concentration, a perfect, seamless flow of decisions, where to place the sled as turn follows turn. And the steering is very precise once you get the hang of it. You use your legs, your shoulders, your weight. A luger talks of driving the sled the way an Indy racer talks of controlling a car, or a fighter pilot of flying a plane. Almost overnight, it seems, luge has become space age, high-tech, wind tunnel tests, refrigerated tracks with control rooms that look like this. But for all the technology, luge is still a sport of heart-stopping moments, of bruises and broken limbs, of dreams dashed by the slightest miscalculation. And in this sport, sooner or later, you come to this, the moment when you stand on the top of the hill, the steepness of the track dropping away at your feet. Your sled is ready, practice is over, and now, this is it. Two 100ths of a second over his nearest competitor, which is a large margin in this sport. He's taking his shoes off there. They walk up the stairs to the starting position with their shoes on, take them off. You see the streamlined racing booties that they have on their aerodynamics. Very, very important in this sport. Jens Müller, the young East German, 22 years old. The East Germans have won the gold in men's luge in 64, 72, 76, and 1980. They missed it 4 years ago when Paul Hilgardner, the Italian, won, and they are very anxious to resume their domination.
And Sam, Jens Müller is protecting a couple of hundredths of a second lead. That's not a whole lot to be sitting on with 3 runs left. But I have a feeling he's going to crank it up this run. He knows that there's guys right behind him. Keep out of the start hard. He's driving very nicely right here.
Georg Hackl, Yuri Hartchenko right behind Müller in the standings at the end of the first run, so everything counts. Here he comes onto the straightaway. Fastest part of the course right there. A tiny bit slower than he was on the first run, maintaining a perfect line, very, very low through the Kreisel turn.
He's very, very smooth on the sled. You can see there's no mistakes, no bumps against the wall. Heads all the way back, toes are pointed. He's a great driver. He's very young, 22 years old. And once again, the East Germans show up with a dominant team.
All right, Jens Müller, his second run, just a fraction slower than his first. Still very, very good. He's the first runner of the second run, so his opposition is all to come. The exact reversal of the order of the first run, where he knew what he had to go for. Now it's his time that the others will be shooting at. Jens Müller, East Germany. The top of the run, the man who surprised us with his first run, Georg Hackl of West Germany. An astonishing run. He was not expected to be in medal contention. Reminds me, 4 years ago in Sarajevo, a man called Torsten Gerlitzer pulled a very fast run early in the going and then slipped slowly from the standings. I'm not sure that this will be repeated here. Hackl, small man, not overly strong at the start, but he had a magnificent run toward the bottom of the course. Let's see if that is repeated.
Sam, the West Germans really not emphasized singles as an event. They key on doubles, and they've been very good at it. They won a bronze medal in 1980. last time they have had a medal in singles. Georg Hackel is a doubles driver. He's a very good doubles driver. His partner was hurt. He decided to concentrate on singles a little bit, and boom, he wins the European Championships a couple weeks ago. He's in first place, second place in the Olympics. It's phenomenal.
Let's listen to those runners flickering over the ice. The sound of Luge. Long, icy run down the mountain. Georg Hackel. How do you rate that? Fraction disappointing. You think he's starting to see a slight slippage?
I don't think so, Sam. I think that was a very solid run from him. Jens Mueller is opening it up a little bit. It's still only 1/1600th of a second behind first place, and that's still reasonably close. You're still striking distance at those times.
At the start, young Duncan Kennedy, just 20 years old. Wolfgang Schäler, the American coach from Liechtenstein. We're finally able to get some European experience onto our team in the way of the coach. Duncan Kennedy had a disappointing first run. He's a guy who the expression born to be wild might apply to him, but he had a conservative first run. He looks now angry and ready to go for it.
And Sam, it looked like he was pressing at the start. He came out hard and he jerked in his transition. It wasn't smooth. It wasn't as good a start as Duncan should have.
And you must be very impossible relaxed on the sled. I mean, it's a paradox that while you're concentrating and trying to steer, you must be just relaxed on the sled.
And Duncan, of all the U.S. sliders, probably has the best natural feel for the track. He started when he was 12 years old. He almost grew up in Luge, and he has that natural feel that you only develop if you start young.
Being relaxed on the sled, Frank Maisley, the other great American slider, he calls it gelling out. Duncan is a master of gelling out, but he seems tense today, and it's hurting him here. He was 11th at the end of the first run. He was 15th at the end of the first run, excuse me, and he has not improved his situation here. Duncan Kennedy in the outrun. Well, it's his first Olympics, and Jeff, as you well know, it's a long and difficult process to become a top Olympic slider. He is a frustrated young man. Crashing is a common occurrence in this sport. Always has been, always will be. Crashing has always been a price paid for the thrills of speed. And almost anyone who has coasted down a hill on a sled can remember a time when things went wrong and you wound up with a mouthful of snow. The old luge tracks were called naturbahns, natural tracks, handmade, designed by seat-of-the-pants engineering, and there was nothing to keep an out-of-control rider from coming to a very painful stop. With the new artificially refrigerated tracks, speeds rose sharply, but because lips at the tops of the turns kept riders in the runs, luging became safer. In fact, the last fatality in the sport was back in the 1970s. Crashes today typically result in cuts, sprains, and bruised egos. Still, there is something powerful about the sight of a luger in trouble, as if his loss of control reminds us how suddenly things can change. This was Sarajevo 4 years ago. And this was just a few days back here in Calgary. Raymond Ocampo doing it all wrong and proving once again that wherever you find sleds and ice, there will be crashes. Marcus Prock, and look at that determination. He's the Austrian who came into the first run as the track record holder and one of the favorites, but when that run was over, Jeff, he was back in 8th place.
Sam, 8th place is a lot of time to make up. He's got 3 more runs. He's got to have 3 very powerful and very strong runs. He can't hold back at all.
But it is still possible. He is not that far out of first. Marcus Prock working the upper part of the track.
Sam, he looks very strong through the upper part of the track. He's very smooth. It heads back all the way. He's obviously going for it. What he's got to try and do is knock off 2 or 3 guys on each one of the next 3 runs.
Aerodynamics is such an important part of this sport.
Look at that, Sam, absolutely perfectly. He's flat as a pancake. The head's back all the way, not even looking where he's going in that straightaway.
No brakes. You use the force of gravity to draw you down this icy run. Marcus Prock, good times, Jeff.
Very good times. And He's the kind of guy who can do that. He can come back at you steadily, 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 and next thing you know, he's back in the medals.
And Marcus Prock has really hit one.
639.
It is a beautiful day out here. Our first opportunity since the games began to see this magnificent $13 million luge track in full sunlight. In the past 2 days, we have witnessed the total superiority of East Germany's Jens Müller in men's luge. He rode a flawlessly prepared sled with machine-perfect form. Well, in women's luge, the East Germans have not just one great luger, they have three. There's Ute Oberhoffner, who won the bronze in Sarajevo, Steffi Walter, who won the gold, and they are joined here by the team's new star, Kirsten Schmidt, the reigning world champion. Working with me as our expert in the sport of luge is Jeff Tucker. And Jeff, there are many people here who think that the East Germans may very well sweep the medals.
Sam, the East German women are awesome. They've gone 1, 2, 3 in training every single day. The only way anyone is going to beat them is if they make a mistake. That's not one of their characteristics. 2 Soviet women have a shot, but I think the most interesting story is the American team. We have Erika Twilliger, who finished 5th in the 1983 World Championship. She's been going very fast. And we have Cami Myler. She took a silver in Sarajevo in a World Cup last year. She's been going very fast as well, been holding back a little bit in training. The big story, Bonnie Warner, consistently 5th in training. One run, she was 4th. Last year, she finished 4th here behind the 3 East German women in the pre-Olympic test race. We spent some time earlier with Bonnie. Let's take a closer look.
When not traveling abroad, the Stanford University graduate commutes to downtown San Francisco each morning, where she's starting her pro-sluging career with a communications company.
For me, it's really important to do not just luge. I don't want to just be a luger, and I don't want to just end luge and have to start from scratch. I'm really enjoying what I'm doing. I've been working in communications, which was my major at Stanford, writing press releases and doing advertising and just getting really in the nuts and bolts behind communicating a message. And I'm having a gas.
Ute Oberhoffner, the first of the East German women, East German juggernaut, leading off with Ute Oberhoffner. As Ute Weiss, she won the bronze medal in Sarajevo. Her dad, Peter Weiss, is a luger, so is her husband.
Sam, this run right here is going to determine the pace. We'll know very quickly how fast the track is and what the times to beat are going to be today.
She takes the left into the first part of the Omega turn, the long right-hand turn, followed by another left, 7 lefts, 3 rights on the track, predominantly left turning, the biggest left of all, coming up now in the Kreisel turn. You see it there.
Sam, the Kreisel is the biggest turn. You got to carry as much speed out as here as you can because it goes into the flats. If you don't have a good Kreisel, you lose it all the way through the flats. It's very frustrating.
Ute Oberhoffner now will know right away if there's any promise to our hopes for the American team.
Sam, and I believe that was a track record, a very fast run of 45.9. East Germans, what can you say? They do it year in and year out.
They are good. Okay, Steffi Walter knows what her teammate has done. Will be going for it. Building up gradually in the upper part of this track, not quite as steep in the early sections as the men's track. And of course, dropping quickly down the long straight after this Omega turn.
And Sam, Steffi Walter is perhaps the perfect woman luger. She has the long body, the long arm. She has a long stroke of the
Split off the top.
Fastest split. Again, you're going to see them stack up, the East German women, probably 1, 2, 3. We'll wait and see.
Listen to the sound of those runners on the ice, especially where they really dig in the bank turns, generating 2, 3, 4 Gs. Here it is, the last turn, perfect form.
And 45.828, East German setting the pace. And again, the track is quick this morning.
Taking the lead from her teammate, Ute Oberhoffner, Steffi Walter. Jeff, let's have another look at her perfect form in the Kreisel.
You can see, Sam, just like a speeding bullet, there isn't a flaw in the form. The toes are pointed. You see her leg bouncing. There's some of the bumps in the Kreisel, but again, it has very little effect on her head bobbing, again, as the G-force is pushing her back into the curve.
Big girl. She's 5'11", 163 pounds. Steffi Walter at the top of the run. person of whom much has been heard, Bonnie Warner, concentrating. This is the moment that she has been pointing toward literally for years. And with her, their coach, Wolfgang Schadler from Liechtenstein, she has really been supported immensely by him. She's learned a lot from him.
She sure has. But the thing to know about Bonnie today is this is her day. She comes up for the big races. She gets fired up. She never crumbles under pressure. This is her day, and she is really fired up.
Sort of like the Paul Newman of luge in terms of the way he had his racing career. He came on slowly, steadily, determinedly, and always scored on the big opportunity.
Beautiful start, Sam. That's exactly what Bonnie wanted to do. She got a clean start. She got good, strong paddles in. I actually saw ice flying off her fingertips. And when you see that, you know you're digging in.
Bonnie Warner, slow start, but she knows it's slow. She typed in a telex to Jeff and me, which we received this morning, and she said, I know I'm going to be slow off the top, but watch me go from there. And there she is. She's coming alive on the lower parts.
Oh, Sam, this could be exciting. This could be exciting. Bonnie can beat an East German. She's been wanting it so badly.
Unbelievable. Bonnie Warner.
And this is the part of the track she does best. In the flats, the lower section, she's got the Kreisel nailed. She carries speed beautifully in the bottom. Let's watch the finish time, Sam.
Yes, a very, very strong run for Bonnie Warner. She was very fast in the middle part of the course, held on with a respectable time. We will see she is less than half a second out of first, so this is good. Jeff, let's have a look at her form.
Sam, I don't have a single criticism with Bonnie's form. She's worked on it very hard, and she has very good form. Head's all the way back in that curve. Look at that. She's not even looking where she's going. She feels the exit. She knows where it is. She drives off the curve.
You see her supported by one of the American coaches. It's hard to walk when you're suited up properly for luge because of the little straps that make your toes point straight down like a ballet dancer. Bonnie helped off you. Read a little bit of disappointment. If she is disappointed, she shouldn't be. That was a magnificent run. The third member of the women's team from East Germany, Kirsten Schmidt, the 1987 world champion, won the pre-Olympic event here in February of '87, once known as the training camp champion because she couldn't duplicate her practice performances when the pressure was on.
And that was a jerky start, Sam. She got out of the handles in a jerky motion. It didn't look quick at all. I think the track might be slowing down a little bit. Watch her time and how it compares to her teammates. That'll give us a very good indication. 6 fastest split on the first clock, and that is not good for an East German slider.
Certainly, though, if there's one person left in the lineup who can displace Steffi Walter in the lead, it is Kirsten Schmidt right now on the course.
And again, Kirsten was the world champion last year. She was the #1 woman on the team until Steffi Martin in 1984. Steffi Walter today came out of retirement, and in 1 year she was back on top.
Her splits are picking up, Jeff. Bad start, but she has come up significantly in the lower parts of the track to move into third. Now, third place is terrific, except for the fact that if you're an East German, that's almost like finishing last. The results of the first of 4 runs in women's luge. And as we expected, the East Germans are dominant with Steffi Walter in front. The surprise, however, is back and forth in 5th places with Veronica Bilgeri of West Germany in 4th and the Canadian Mary-Claude Dion in 5th. Americans led by Bonnie Warner are 6th, 8th, and 9th.
It's about 1,000 meters long. It's a great track.
I find there's great beauty to the luge. It's simple with no extraneous components. Watch this and see what I mean.
What is a luge? Perhaps it's the ultimate evolution of the species. Flexible flyer, for many of us who grew up in the snow, was the first sled. At best, it's the distant cousin to the modern racing luge. In the blueprint of a luge, we see it's a simple machine consisting of very few parts. It's, however, built to very specific regulations and weight requirements. Here we see the pod. It's the aerodynamic shell, which cheats the wind and acts as the seat for the slider. Through the pod goes the steel bridges. They're the structural supports. And attached to them are the rubber gummies. These allow the sled to absorb shock and at the same time be flexible and steer. Next come the runners. They're made out of fiberglass and wood. The rider's legs rest up against the front. They also carry the racing steels. These have a mirror-like polish to them. We see the sled from above. Added is a foam rubber pad. It acts as a cushion and absorbs some of the shock coming down the track. And lastly, the handles. This is where the racer hangs on. The Luge, deceptively simple in design and construction, is actually a highly refined, complex racing machine.
Bonnie Warner at the top of the course, ready for her fourth and final run. Her second run was a big disappointment, but she came back with a terrific third run this morning. Big party 2 nights ago for the U.S. Luge team and their corporate sponsorship. Bonnie, who would ordinarily have attended a party like that and loved it, stayed away. She has really got an air of determination about her, Jeff.
Sam, she was disappointed in the small mistake she had on the second run, which cost her 2 tenths. She made a lot of it back on the third run, and she's going for it all the way. You see her head back. Her toes are pointed. She's going for maximum speed, maximum aerodynamic efficiency. She really, really wants to move up, and I think she can do it. I've never seen determination on her face like I saw this morning.
Quick run, listen to the sound. Enthusiastic crowd following Bonnie Warner. She almost looks like a fighter plane attacking. Was that a small nick there that she might have scrubbed off a little speed?
Sam, it wasn't perfect for her, but it's okay. She's got a very nice run going. This is exactly what she had to do, exactly what she wanted to do. Now she's got to wait for the women ahead of her and see where she ends up. Good run.
Good run, but she did not pick off Yulia Antipova, who was in fifth. So Bonnie Warner, an excellent run. She's obviously very, very pleased with herself. And I just want to say quickly, there's such an emphasis on winning medals. And here is a person who really embodies, to me, the Olympic spirit. She loves her sport. She's a wonderful spokeswoman for the sport. I'm thrilled to see her with a fine, fine last run. Bonnie Warner. What you wear in this sport is important to performance, Jeff explains.
In the off-season, Erica Twilliger is a fashion model, but today she's going to show us what the well-dressed luger wears. First, the lime green weight vest. Lighter riders are allowed to add lead, makes them go faster. And the blue neck strap. That keeps her head up in the high G turns. One of the most unusual pieces of equipment, toe pointers, a garter and rubber band arrangement, which keep the feet in an aerodynamic position. Over all of that, the skin-tight, airtight racing suit. It's made out of plastic, and it's very fast. In Erica's case, it's awfully colorful. Now, these suits aren't very warm, and you can't stay out very long in them, but again, the run's only 47 seconds. Next, the thin racing gloves. These are tipped with steel spikes. Those are used for pushing off the start. Be careful shaking a luger's hand. And the specially made booties. Round soles, they're crafted in the pointed position. They're not of much use anywhere but a luge run. And we see the helmet strap. That's connected to the neck strap. As I said, that keeps your head up in those high G turns. And you can see Erica's helmet, the face shield going over the top, a very lightweight affair. The helmets only weigh half a pound. The face shield's made out of Lexan. That's shatterproof, and it's a safety feature.
Steffi Walter could become the first woman ever to retain her singles title. Jeff?
Sam, she's going through the course in her mind right now. She's visualizing the entire run. She knows this is for the gold medal. She knows that this is probably her last Olympic run. You can see the face shield going down. The coach is making sure everything is perfect for this run. This is the one that counts. Now watch this start. Powerful, powerful, long arms, long angular body. She's going to rip the handles right out. She's going to go for it. You're going to see a very aggressive paddle.
She's big. She's 5'11", 163 pounds.
Watch her steer around that first curve. She pushes in on the right coupon or the right runner, and she drives all the way down. She uses her legs. She uses her shoulders. The sled's very steerable, and today Steffi Walter's going to put it right where she wants it.
Still to come, both of her East German teammates, so she knows this has got to be good. Terrific split at the top.
Flawless form, Sam. This is a woman who's been there before. She has 1 gold medal in her pocket. The pressure, she's been through it. I think she's going to do it.
She was trained specially for this event, not practicing in most of the European events that preceded it, but training instead on a course very like this one. Stephanie Balder, no surprise there that she has taken the lead at this point, but as I said, both of her East German teammates have yet to come, and yet, Jeff, I think we may very well to see the gold medal run. What do you think?
It's going to be tough to beat. 46.0 is just a couple of thousandths of a second behind her first run.
Jeff, Kirsten was third at the end of the third run, but she has a strong shot now of overtaking one or both of her East German teammates, but she's got to be fast.
And if anybody on the East German team can do it, Kirsten can. Reigning world champion. You can't forget that she won the pre-Olympic test race last year on this track. She knows the track. She's gone fast before. 45.948 is the time she needs to beat for the silver medal. I'm sure that's what she has her sights set on.
Is it an advantage to know that your two teammates have gone already and you know what you've got to do?
We got a good run going, Sam. I think it is. I think it's good for her. She's got the experience. She's been in the lead. She's won races. She's won world championships. I think she very much enjoyed knowing what she had to do and what she had to set her sights on.
Kirsten Smith looking to gun down one or both of the East German teammates that have gone before her, and we're going to see the result right now. No, by a small margin, she misses. She stays in, of course, medal area, but she will be taking home to East Germany the bronze. Kirsten Smith.
Hundredths of seconds, Sam.
And so, Steffi Martin has become the first woman in Olympic luge history to win back-to-back gold medals. The other two medals were taken by her East German teammates. A wonderful day for the Americans as Bonnie Warner takes sixth, the highest finish ever by an American in